I don't want to talk about anything else besides bringing the man of the hour on, my great mentor, coach, and client, From Homeless to Greatness, the author, which we're going to talk about, Shaundi Goins. Welcome, Shaundi.
Thanks, Jeff. Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And Shaundi, I want to jump right in with you because, we did our work. You hired me. It's like, I think we talked right beforehand. It's been about 2 years ago, where we did our work. But we can talk about your coaching business, but I mean, it's all in the book, and we're going to get to the book, but share a brief version of your life, because and I was telling Shaundi before this, when him and I worked together and when he hired me as his mentor coach, I knew a little bit about him and he shared some things as we went along, but I helped him with his coaching business and set that structure up and get him going. We never really dove into the details that I've been reading, in his book. And as I'm reading this book, I told him, before we went live today, I'm like, dude, I said it like this. I'm like, dude, you were messed up. And he was laughing. But give people a snapshot of where you were and then where you got to, man, because you inspired the crap out of me.
Thank you. So I was in the Navy. And I think I lasted for about maybe a year and 4 months. And I was 23 years old. And so when I got out of the Navy, I was so depressed and I felt like I dishonored my family because I couldn't even finish my 4-year term. And so I got kicked out because I was an alcoholic, a severe alcoholic. When I got out, I dove deep into drugs, crystal meth, ecstasy, and I ended up homeless. And I was out there in the streets of Fremont, California. I just lost my way. I was severely depressed. I was suicidal. I just felt I was not enough. I couldn't hit no goals whatsoever. I couldn't keep a job, and it was hell. I was finna do something very stupid, and I'll never forget the last day that I was homeless. I remember God telling me that you were meant for so much more. You're not meant to be on these streets. There's greatness inside of you. You're meant to serve a mighty nation. And all I know is for some reason I agreed with him, and he said, you need to go to rehab. You need to take care of the drug. You need to take care of the drug problem first. Otherwise, you can't do anything else. So at that very point, Jeff, I took 100% responsibility over my life because I realized nobody's coming to save me. No one's going to come give me $1 million. No one's going to come say, here, go to 12-step and we're going to take care of you. Nobody was coming. So I had to take 100% responsibility over my life. I made a decision that I was never going to return to the lifestyle I was living. I got clean and sober. I learned how to live life on life's terms, went on to college, got 2 awesome degrees. And I went on this journey of personal development. And I saw a video of Les Brown. He says, you got to be great. You got to be hungry. And that got me into the coaching, speaking world, And so it's been a hell of a journey. But my journey ended up becoming my victory, which is great.
Yeah, it absolutely has. And it's amazing how you go from one type of mindset, like very unconscious, to, all of a sudden waking up going like, wow, I've got to take responsibility for this. And then, turning it all around from there. Mm-hmm. Fast forward then to, you're on this journey and you're like, I want to be a coach. I want to be a speaker, right? Mm-hmm. That's part where you came to me and you started, hearing what I was doing and things like that. And talk about, where you started with that coaching journey and what brought you to me and what brought you to say, like, I need to work with this guy, in terms of where you wanted to go.
Absolutely. So I cut my teeth in business through network marketing, direct sales, and I had a phenomenal mentor who was a big time speaker, trainer, and I loved doing that. It was my introduction to business. But one day I sat at home and I says, this network marketing company I'm working for, that's actually somebody else's business. I want to be that coach. I want to be that speaker. And I said, I think it's time for me to move out of network marketing and learn how to become a coach. So I went to a coaching certification program, and it gave me a lot of tools, but I had no experience as a coach per se. And it was just really overwhelming. Well, one of our fellow IPEC alumni, Melissa West, said, if you want to become a great coach, you need to enroll in the IPEC. So a couple years later, I enrolled into IPEC in 2015. And the one thing that I noticed, I started watching the successful alumni, such as yourself, and I was like, what are they doing? You know, I was brand new. I was like just out of LPT, and I was like, what are they doing? Because I want to be at their level. And so I saw you posted on the Facebook group, and I saw how you were like really helping coaches go from like becoming an aspiring coach and helping them to build a business, you know. And so I says, I'm not here to have all this theory behind me and have a good coaching philosophy. That's all great. But in the coaching, it's a coaching business. And so I needed a mentor that could like really show me the ropes, how to get paying clients, and really help me create a system for my business. And we connected, man. And you gave me what I needed to.
Yeah, man, and you were such a receptive student too. Like I could tell, like you're like, dude, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I got this. And you had all the flair, the desire, the passion, you know, the guts, the willingness to go after it all. It's just you needed some of that guidance, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the path that you set off from as we started to work together. Talk about some of the things that you started doing and that trajectory that took you to where you are now.
Sure. So, you know, in the early years, you know, you're getting experience, you're doing one-on-one coaching. And, you know, one of the things that you taught me was how to get over that. Shaundi, your coaching service is great. I know I need it, but I don't have the money. And I think it's probably the greatest skill that I've ever learned as far as the business side of coaching was how to alleviate that price thing. Because like you taught me, I don't want my clients to worry about price. If we're going to work together, if I'm going to help you, I want us to be focused on your goals, right? And once I learned that and I implemented that, it was, I almost want to say it was almost easy to get clients. So I started one-on-one. You know, I graduated from IPEC, you know, 9-10 months later. And I think at the height of it, I had like 17 clients, which was really great. As a new coach, you know, we do a lot of individual coaching, you know, while we're learning our craft. But quite frankly, I actually got burnt out because I had no time for family. I was still getting out of IPEC, getting all the requirements and stuff. I was still working 9 to 5, you know, as a director in higher education. And so I took some time off. I went to grad school. And while I was in grad school, you know, it was about learning how to do group coaching, learning how to do mastermind groups, like learning how to coach more people at one time instead of individual. And I learned how to create coaching packages, which was awesome. So right before I got out of grad school, I'm watching all my IPEC fellow classmates. And, you know, it's about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, and they're all taking off. You know, they're all taking off. And I'm sitting on the side, and I'm like, oh, so you guys are taking off. And I says, wait till I get out of grad school. And so I had created that system you taught me. And, you know, I learned how to do the group coaching and creating a signature package. And then when I came out, I blessed a former student of mine to kind of not be so rusty anymore. And then from there, you know, it was just just going off referrals, just really adding value to that client. Every client that I have is just about adding so much value. Like, why would you not refer a friend, family, coworker, associate to your mentor coach that's helping you go from here to there, which is from good to great to phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the path that you went on. Meanwhile, you have a family, you got small children, right? So this is a lot that you're dealing with there.
Right.
Talk about now the path to the book, because this is and it's a real book, man. This is a thick book. It's got juice in it too. So talk about cause I know personally, your vision for speaking in the large audiences and, the path that you're on now, but what got you to the spot of saying, all right, I got to do this book, and what has it done for you?
Right. So, throughout the journey of being in, my years of personal development, obviously I've known, oh my God, thousands of people in our industry, from top leaders such as yourself to, every level. And anybody that I encounter, when I tell my backstory, it was like, wow, you have a story, and then people was like, you should write a book. And I am a writer. That's probably my second God-given gift besides the speaking. And I was putting it off. I was like, I'm going to do it. When I got into IPEC, I was like, I'm going to do it before I graduate, right? Never happened because of the timing. And I met a young man who was helping aspiring authors become authors. And I talked to this guy, and I'll never forget, I told him my whole life story for probably about 11 o'clock p.m. to about 3 a.m. And he just let me go, and we got off the phone, and he says, dude, what if I told you that I helped 16-year-olds become published authors? And I was like, 16 years old? It was like, yeah, go to my website. I'll show you the young lady that I'm working with. She's a sophomore in high school. And so he began to show me he was working with youngsters, Jeff. Like, his son was like 9 at the time, and his son became a published author. And so I'm competitive. I'm like, no, I can't have no 16-year-old. Like, we have, children are bold. They have that God-given childlike faith. They have no fear. So why should I have fear? So I got with him, and he helped me how to get the vision for my book and get it out on paper and just the whole process and publishing it. And I'll tell you, man, like you're a published author. When you go through that process of writing, it was very therapeutic. When I wrote the book, I was uncovering layers from the past. There were some nights I was crying because, I was going back to my past. But when I got done and when I published the book and I started promoting the book, it was people coming out of nowhere that was like, I never knew your story. It was relatable to a lot of people. And, that was God saying, it's time for you to unleash your story to the world, because people need to hear this, because people have gone through everything that you've gone through, all the pain and suffering. And you got to teach them how to go from barely surviving in life to thriving in life. So that's why I created the book.
Yeah. Well, from homeless to greatness, right? That's what it was. And how has this book helped you with your coaching business specifically? Because I've got a lot of mentor coaching clients, and I'm helping write a book right now. Other people, I'm sure everyone's got a book in them.
Right.
But talk, for those of people that are listening to this, watching this, going, okay, how would a book help me? I know what it did for my business, but when I wrote my book, what has this done for you? How has this helped you with speaking, getting clients, all that good stuff?
Door opener. It's a door opener. Like, it's the initial prospecting, like if you want to go into organization and potentially do some maybe a workshop or do, a 45-minute coaching session on effective communication. when people see that book, they consider you an expert, right? And so coupled with, oh, he has an education. Oh, he has at the time he almost has a master's degree. Now I have a master's degree. So when people see that book, he's an author. He has, 11 years in the higher education industry. He's made over $60 million in revenue in his career in the higher education industry as a recruiter. It was just like the book complemented all my credentials, all my years of experience. And it was like, this guy is legit, and, so when it comes to coaching, we're not going to get everybody in the first call. We're not going to get everybody on the first one-on-one, but we all know in the industry that it's a process, right? So after my 2-hour insight session, if the timing is not right, Jeff, then, they have access to my website. They're going to see the book. They're going to see the blog post. They get invited to my Facebook, public page, the social media. They see the work. They see the journey. And sooner or later, they're going to come back and says, I want what you have. So it's been huge. It's my best friend from a business standpoint.
It really is. It's a great tool to have. I always call it the 5-pound business card, right?
Yeah.
And it's a foot in the door, but it leverages you in so many different ways.